Now, let's say someone who wants to move to Australia and not from New Zealand, maybe from Zambia, maybe from Africa, or anywhere in the world. What is your best piece of advice to them who considering to move to Australia?
Ooh. My best piece of advice is if you can come already having a job, there's ways you can find work while you're in your home country, because that's it's also biased. That's the way that my family also migrated, with moved with a job ahead of time, and that's how I moved to Australia. That I think that helps the transition quite a lot, because you automatically have community within the workplace.
Yeah.
So if you can, do that. The other thing is go to events, go on a Facebook page, find out about the community you're coming from in Melbourne. There's Africans in Melbourne, there's South Sri Lankans in Melbourne. There's like, find the Facebook group from the cultural group that you're coming from, because in Melbourne, this is the great thing. It exists. There's a Facebook group for everything. Um,
Everything. Absolutely.
every intersection of community, and attend events, because it can feel quite lonely. And
Yeah.
Melbourne's huge as well, so you might find that you're actually living in the complete wrong suburb if you want to be around people from your culture. We all live in particular suburbs.
Yeah.
uh, um, but yes, find ways to connect to people. But I don't know, that's my advice, is if you can
No,
get
no,
a
it
job,
is. It is
yeah,
perfect. Perfect advice.
yeah.
Yes. Even as a migration agent, we give the same advice to people. Get a job and then apply for the visa. That's the best thing. Right. So before coming to Australia, do you mind sharing some misconception that people have, and when they come to Australia, oh my God, that happens to them? Being not just your own experiences from your
Yeah.
clients everywhere.
I think that pub culture is post. Oh, is a bigger deal than you might. That post work drinks is important. It's important in
Yeah.
cultural pastime in Australia.
Yeah.
Um, that's one. Uh, Another misconception, I guess, is doing some research on the First Nations people, and understanding the culture that you're coming to, because there's a longer history than what we we might know about Australia. So I think that's a really important one, because I think that helps you understand the landscape a little bit more. And I think it's
Mm,
important, as someone who's coming from a different country, to honor the people that we find here and whose lands we are coming and living on. Um,
mm,
because I think if my perspective is that if we want to be in a multicultural society that accepts us, we have to accept the people whose land we're coming to live on, and have some knowledge and understanding of that culture, um, and respect and honor for those peoples. Um, yeah, and then the third is that the food is great. There's a lot of
yeah.
multicultural cuisine. No matter what kind of food you want to eat, you can find it in Australia. You can
Yes.
order it
Yes.
online. You can actually cook some of the foods from home if you want the nostalgia of it. It's a great food country to live in, despite
Yeah.
its isolation from the rest of the world.
That's the saddest part, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what about the job opportunities? So, let's say the migration part is over. Now, you come to Australia and you're just trying to get a job, or some people who do not get a job, they just migrated as a skilled migrant or as a student, and they
Mhm.
try and find a job. So, how you see the job culture or job opportunities in Australia? Is it you feel like it's not great, or it's amazing? Where we stand as a country.
Yeah, I think um, I think it's great. There's lots of opportunities. I think sometimes those opportunities don't necessarily match exactly what we did previously or what we expect the job market to look like. And I say that, like, in the sense of um, like, for example, nurses here can work as mental health practitioners and can actually be therapists and do different kind of work. So I think sometimes it's there's a broader scope of what the work you could do is.
Hmm.
And if you're very narrow focused about, I want to do this kind of work in this specific way, that particular narrow job may not exist in Australia, but there's actually a whole lot of other things that do exist that you could do. So I think being open-minded about what kind of work, what work looks like, even if it's in your field. Um,
Mhm.
but also, sometimes it's better to be just get a job in the industry. This is the advice that I give my younger brothers: is get a job in the industry, because that's
Yeah.
when you know about the other jobs that are in the industry.
It's good.
um, not for, and seek is great, but like, and job, but sometimes there's a lot of internal roles that come up within the industry that you're in, and you might find that the title of the job that you actually want to do is completely different from what you could have imagined it would be called.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.